Hi there, I'm Chef Eric Crowley, owner of the Culinary Classroom in West Los Angeles, and today I'm going to show you how to fillet a round fish. When you wind up getting your fish from the fishmonger or a fish store like Santa Monica Seafood, two things are really important in order to proceed with filleting. Make sure that the fish has been gutted, that the belly has been cut open and the guts and the gills have been removed, and also make sure that the scales have been taken off as well. In order to proceed with filleting, I'm going to utilize a little bit of paper toweling to help keep the fish really nice and dry. This, for demonstration purposes, is a branzino. This is a Mediterranean-style sea bass, and all bass relatives and bass family members have a dorsal fin that's along here that is basically a series of spines. So be really careful when it comes to wiping the fish down. We wipe it in order to make it easier to handle, so it's a little bit drier, and we always wipe it from the head to the tail. So after I've wiped it dry, I've got it gutted, I've already got it scaled. Right along here, behind the head, this is what's called the gill plate, and behind this gill plate there's a little pectoral fin right here. And the pectoral fin is attached to a big crescent-shaped piece of cartilage. We're going to get behind that pectoral fin, and we're going to cut through the skin down until we reach the backbone, which runs along, of course, the middle and the back of the fish. A boning knife or fillet knife is going to work best for this particular technique. I'm going to take the knife itself and I'm going to get behind the fin and make sure I get behind that crescent-shaped piece of cartilage, and I'm going to cut through the skin, and you can see I've got a little bit of a flap right here. I'm going to cut that too. And when I cut in through the skin and through the meat, after about a ½ inch or so, I can clearly feel the knife hit the backbone, and after I wind up making that cut, I can feel the knife hit that bone very firmly. I'm going to take the fish, and I find it's easier to get it right up to the edge of my cutting board and the edge of my counter. Give it a little wipe. And I'm going to take the knife, after I cut and I feel that backbone, I'm going to take the knife and I'm going to start to rotate it and get it parallel to my cutting board and getting it running right on top of the backbone, and basically saw the knife back and forth and cut towards the tail. As I start to do this, you're going to hear the knife click. I'm going to cut in through and into a couple of rib bones. So I'm going to grab a hold of the fish fillet, maybe even get my paper toweling on it so it's a little bit more stable. Saw the knife back and forth. Cut towards the tail, and that is how you take the fillet off. One of the things you'll see when you do this at home and you start to run your knife along here, you want to have your knife running right on top of that dorsal fin. If you start to cut down below it, then you've actually cut through the spinal column and you're going to have to back your knife up. We'll go ahead and we'll do the same thing on the other side, right behind this pectoral fin right here. Through this, the flap of the meat, and when I cut through the skin, I can feel the knife hit that backbone. Then I'm going to take my knife and basically get it perpendicular to my cutting board, holding on to the flap of the fillet, and get that knife running right on top of the dorsal fin right along there. You can hear it click through a couple of bones. Basically just go straight back towards the tail. Okay. Now what you also have is you have a nice head and you have a nice backbone and skin. This is all really wonderful to save to make a fish stock if that is your desire. Otherwise you can go ahead and put it into the trash. And that is, after I clean those scales off a little bit, that is how I fillet a roundfish. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to subscribe so you can get some additional information. If there's a recipe that you would like to see me make, feel free to send an email to requests@Mahalodotcom. Thanks again, and I'll see you soon.